Yeah. So Tara Christian-Weidner, is it Weidner?
Yes, it is.
Tara Christian-Weidner, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great. Jesse, how are you?
Oh, good. And it was so fun to meet you last week. I'm going to tell the folks. You want to tell the folks where we met?
Oh, we met at my riff mic.
Yes.
Yeah,
Rush in Roulette.
the Rush in Roulette. Not like Russia, but rush in. So hurry your ass in and play some roulette. But not roulette. I fucked that up hard. Yes, the Rush in Roulette. That's where we met. The riff mic ruled by rotation. We've got a
Was that mic born out of a necessity during this whole lockdown period, or was it something you had toyed with before?
that actually God, I was sitting in bed. This was like 3 weeks ago. This mic is brand new. This is a new concept. um
Wow.
yeah, about 3 weeks ago I was sitting in bed, and the other two mics that I run, Make the Love Seat Laugh and Couch Potatoes, they have no light. They're long sets and they go on and on. But I've noticed I'm running into a problem where I'll have a few comics that come in with like three new jokes but spread it out over like a 10-minute set, and I'm like, all right, how can I limit the time and not be the bad guy? And I'm like, all right, I need something random. All right,
Mm.
let's work a wheel into this. So you get like a random thing. And I'm like, wait, if we're going to do that, let's give a random subject too. And then we started with a list like other open mics do. And then I'm like, fuck that. Names go on the wheel too. So now it's everything is random. You don't know when you're going up. You don't know how much time you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. And it has been the funniest show that I have ever hosted.
It goes against everything I've ever like. It's everything I've ever not wanted in. I will. I just had my 2-year comedy anniversary, right? So I
Uh-huh.
still call myself an open micer, right?
Yeah.
I've had some decent shows, but I'm gonna call myself an open micer. I'm not calling myself a comic because I don't want the purists coming down on me, right? But anyway, um, at open mics, I do not like open mics where I don't know when I'm going up. I definitely don't like open mics where like it's less than like where they automatic where they like sometimes like you go to an open mic and like it's a 5-minute mic. Oh, we got too many people here. It's gonna be a 3-minute mic, and then you're
Yep.
like scrambling to like change your set around and like, all right, I can't try this out tonight. I'm gonna have to definitely try this out. And
Mm-hmm.
because even when you're trying out new material, you still want to do like one of your solid jokes to just to get your footing. Like that's something like I learned. Like somebody taught me that. Like, don't just go up there and riff new material. Like, go ahead and go do your solid joke first, get their attention, then slip in the new material, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when they suddenly take 2 minutes away from you and you're down to, you walked in thinking you had 5 minutes and now you got 3 minutes. You're like, oh shoot, because 3 minutes means you're gonna get the light at 2 minutes. And
Yep.
oh,
That
so
has happened so many times. That was why I wanted the whole like no light mic. Because there's so much anxiety that comes with the light. You end up like tripping over your own jokes. And I know I have messed up more sets being nervous about when I'm getting the light than anything. So, yeah, saying, all right, we have no light at my mics really shot me in the ass with a couple things, but it's also been awesome.
yeah. Jackie Pearl came over last week and had coffee with me, and she does so many of these Zoom shows that like I can't keep up, right?
She's
And she
awesome.
was just like, "You got to try this," and I was like, "No, no, no." Like she described the three things to me, and I was like, "No, no, no, no. There's no way I'm going to do that." And she's
Yeah.
like, "Come on, come on." I was like, "All right, let me try it." And then I get in there, and she's not there, and Danny's not there, and I don't know, like I barely know anybody in that room. I think like was Sam Medina in there?
Yeah, Sam was in there that
And
day.
I don't even really know, like I only know Sam like Facebook Sam and his wife, right?
Uh-huh.
We're just barely Facebook friends like in the last like during this whole quarantine period.
Yeah.
So I didn't know anybody, and so it really took me out of my comfort zone. And then I was dead last, like which ended up it was kind of cool, but because at least I knew that it was my turn.
Uh-huh.
But every time the wheel spun and it didn't get me, like I was like, every time I was like, okay, I have a 1 in 9 chance. All right, I have a 1 in 8 chance. All right, okay, it's 50-50. It's gonna. Oh my
Yep.
god, like
Don't play the lottery.
No, and that's people like to say that's just my luck, but that really was just my luck. But I ended up I was really happy with my set.
You did beautifully, and the fact that you like Facebook stalked me beforehand to know where I was from, that was beautiful. Because no one ever knows where the hell Bakersfield is, and no one's gonna think to roast the host during a riff mic. That was beautiful.
Thank you, because I knew that being from Bakersfield, you were gonna have a tough skin, right? Where my dad coined the phrase maybe 50 years ago. We're Mexican Okies, you know. And I like to say, like, people are like, what's a Mexican Okie? And I'm like, well, you ever see somebody put like tapatio sauce on their biscuits and gravy?
Yes. Yeah, I only look white. I am also Mexican, so yeah, you're speaking my brand right now.
Yeah, or like you ever see a really nice lowrider with the George Strait mural, you know, just like that kind of stuff. We're Mexican Okies, and I knew you'd have you could take it, you know.
Yeah. The best is the lowrider El Camino with the purple pinstriping and a KUZZ bumper sticker on the back.
KUZZ.
Buck Owens.
Man, Buck. Did you have any Crystal Palace stories? Did you ever get to go there?
I do actually. Let's see. I thought my water broke during a Trick Pony concert. Yeah. No, I saw a lot of big names there because, funny enough, I was working in radio when that place opened. So.
Oh, really? What station were you working for?
Well, I was working with Clear Channel Media, so I was just bouncing around to all the stations in Bakersfield. So I was there with Crab, and I did a little bit of moonlighting with KUZZ because they were on with a different company, but mostly Crab was where I was at.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was how I met Rob Zombie.
Oh, wow.
His wife.
Yeah. So did you get to go to a lot of great shows in Bakersfield? Like did the Korn Rob Zombie show?
I didn't do the Korn Rob Zombie show. I did the Aussie Rob Zombie show, and that one I actually got to be one of the staff members in the backstage meet and greet.
Nice.
So, yeah, I was wrangling some groupies and like, nah, bitches, stand back. Wow. I will let you in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was funny.
That was Rob Zombie at like the height of Rob Zombie before he had like all this. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Rob Zombie now, but that's when he wasn't really a movie guy yet.
Yeah, that was, I think, House of a Thousand Corpses
maybe
had been released, but I think that was the only one. He
hadn't redone the Halloween yet.
No, no, because this was in 2000. He had, because we actually took our Halloween poster and had him sign it. So yes.
Oh, nice. You know, that the Rob Zombie Halloween remake has, I don't know how many times you watched it. I watched it like 2 or 3 times.
Like a billion.
It had the scene when they go into this bar and there's this crazy band playing live at the bar. Mm-hmm. That is one of the most insane, beautiful sequences I've ever seen in any movie, musical sequence. It is intense. And that, I don't know who that band is. It's so beautiful that like, I don't want to, like, sometimes with movies, like I'll research them and I'll like, who's that band? Where did they come from? Right.
Yeah.
But, like with that one, like, I just want to let it live in the cinema and just let it live in that fantasy world. In that fantasy world that he created, because that is one of the most beautiful music scenes in any movie ever.
Yeah, it's killer.
You can Google it. Go ahead. Who is it?
Well, I'm trying to Google it.
Because the band was very Oingo Boingo-esque. But I know there's no way it was Oingo Boingo, but it was like, that's what it was like. They had that energy. So
are you the first Halloween or the second?
The first one.
Okay. Captain Clegg and the Night Creatures.
Wow, that's exactly what they look like too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I may have to. That might have them. Since we're in October, that might have to be a Halloween rewatch for this month.
Sure if you've noticed my background.
I was noticing all of that, but that looks like it's year round.
It is. I'm guilty.
That's not decorations. Those are real cobwebs.
throw pillows. I'm high class. I clean the cobwebs and then put up fake ones.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't that funny, huh? We clean up and then make stuff look rustic.
Yeah. Oh, I've got like. Let's see if I can rotate this.
Oh, you are chilling. Look at that.
We get a little fancy here.
That is the definition of cozy right now.
That's
Um,
spiffy.
so had you been running open mics even before all of this, or did all of this Zoom stuff start when all of this started?
So, truth be told, I'm actually coming up on my 2-year comedy anniversary
Oh
too.
wow.
Yeah. I started doing comedy. God, next month will be 2 years.
Okay.
And I didn't get to grind as much as I wanted to, like in the before times. Like I had a full-time job, I have a family, and it's not as easy when you have all those things. So when COVID hit, it happened at a time where I was already planning to take a break from comedy because I was getting married and I had other things going on. And by the time that my little break was over, comedy hadn't started back up yet and everything was still closed down. And then I started checking out the Zoom shows that were going on and I liked them, but just the whole thing, like, there's a couple things I could make better. And rather than give those hosts unsolicited advice, I'm looking at you people that message me all the damn time.
I was gonna say, because we all love that.
Oh God, I love it so much. Yes, if you have an idea, great, go start your own show. Um, but yeah, rather than be like, hey, here's what I would change about what you're doing, I'm like, I have a premium Zoom account. I have sound equipment. Let's see what happens. And it turns out I know how to produce. I know how to how to figure out show concepts. And I found out that I like this more than the before times. Like this is feeding my soul. I can grind the way that I want to. I can hustle the way that I want to. I can hit 7 mics in a single day and practice those jokes and then know that if things don't work out for me at one mic, big fucking deal. I have my own the next day where I'm the boss and I'm the host and I get to run it how I want. So it was all for selfish gain. And so short answer, no, I didn't run open mics or shows before COVID hit, but thanks to the pandemic, I think I might once the world opens back up.
Yeah, and when I joined your mic last week, it felt like you'd been running shows forever.
Thank you.
Like there wasn't. That's why I was like wondering, like, okay, she must be doing this all the time. Like she just easily transitioned from like hosting shows to like hosting online. So, but yeah, look at that, you fooled me.
Fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah, well, you definitely made it, because that mic was so much fun, and I'm looking forward to doing it again today. And it was funny because this morning I caught myself, like when you're kind of like running through your day, or like, I was sitting there brushing my teeth and I was like, all right, what material should I try at the mic tonight? Maybe, oh wait, I don't get to.
Throw that out the window.
Yeah. But then I started thinking about it kind of like from an improv perspective of like, if I have like 4 minutes, like what if I like I challenge myself with, I take the given topic and then in the improv way of thinking, try to ABC myself from the given topic to some of my material. And so now, like, that's going through the back of my mind of like seeing like, and I think that would really, that's a good exercise when you start thinking about when you get back into the real world and you're riffing and you're doing crowd work with somebody, like you just pick a couple from the audience and like, you never know what they're going to throw at you. And like crowd work was something that I never touched because it would just derail me. Cause like I said, I've only been doing, like when the lockdown hit, I had only been doing comedy about, 18 months. So I was still in okay, I've got my solid 10 minutes, but if somebody drops a beer in the middle of my set, it's going to mess me up,
Yeah. I feel that. God, right before lockdown hit, I had the longest set that I had been given. I was given a feature set 25 minutes. Like,
Holy cow.
well, first they told me, hey, we're going to give you a 20-minute set. And then I show up and they're all, you can do 25 to 30, right? And I'm like, sure. And it was like crowd full of hecklers and I lost my footing and I had way too many edibles right before.
Oh.
And it was like just this cluster of everything that could go wrong. And that was in the back of my mind when I came up with the riff mic. Like, that was literally the worst night of my comedy career. Like, it was horrible. I had like a mental breakdown that night. Luckily, I had a show 2 days later and redeemed myself. But it was just like, you know, I need to learn how to riff. I'm not good at it. I hate crowd work. So yeah, it's to help me too. It's selfish gains. Oh my God. Like, I don't know how to tell you people this enough. I am selfish as fuck and this is for my own good. But it was like, there aren't any writing workshops like this. I'm not great with the writing workshops where they're like, okay, so write on this topic. We'll see you on this day and let's see what you came up with. I don't want a homework assignment.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit down and do it.
Yeah, I want you to sit there and be like, hey, let's talk about this and just see what funny shit comes out of our mouths. And it's been raw and it's been honest. And I actually, one of my friends that does improv, he's been really active and participating with this. And he's probably been one of like the biggest supporters. He's like, oh my God, this is so awesome for improv people, not just stand up. So now we have like the two worlds converging.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about letting those nerds come in and play with us, but whatever, it's a good time.
It's weird, huh? The improv and the comedy world, they don't always gel well together.
It's like Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering. We are all nerds, but we're playing two different games. And when you mix the two, it's gonna get confusing, but it might be really cool.
Yeah, here in Sacramento, we have two really good theaters where the Sacramento Comedy Spot is known for their improv, and then there's kind of like I don't even know what to call it to be politically correct. I almost said like an offshoot of the Sacramento Comedy Spot, but you know, one of the guys from Comedy Spot left Comedy Spot and started his own thing at Stab Comedy Theater, and he is he's like one of the greatest improvisers I've ever seen. This dude named Jesse Jones, and so he's got Stab Comedy Theater. But they do comedy shows there. They do like as many comedy shows as they do improv shows. And it's like really like hard to see the worlds they want to come together, but they don't, you know. I have an improv show called Telenovela where I also started it for selfish gains, because you know how like once you start doing comedy, they say, man, you got to host. Like that's where you learn, right? I was like, there's no way anybody's going to let me host right now, because like there's a lot of comics in Sacramento, a lot of really, really good comics in Sacramento. And so I was like, well, how can I find a way to host? And I was like, oh, I created this improv show that I'm the host of. So there you go. And so I would I don't improvise with them because I don't think I'm a great improviser, but I come out beforehand and I do like between 5 to 10 minutes and then introduce them, and then they improvise for 20 minutes. So it gives me that mic control that, you know, I did it for my own selfish gains also, but I love telenovela, and we're on hiatus right now, of course, because of the lockdown. But we from there, we started doing what we called the telenovela variety show. And we would have like 3 comics, an intermission, and then an improv show. So we were kind of doing it. I think we did 3 of those before everything got shut down, but we'll do more. Oh, there's one of the posters in the background.
I've been staring at it. I love the font.
Yeah. That's a local artist named Evan T. Lilly did the graphics for us. But then that was hand drawn by a local comic, Miriam Musavi. And I think local comic Ruby Setnick helped her with it. So, and like these T-shirts are made by a local company, Sacramento Made. So, nice. Yeah, I really do. Because like how you said you were in radio, I worked at the warehouse, the record store.
Oh, there you go.
On Main Avenue.
Blast from the past.
Yeah, I worked there for 7 years. So I watched how records were promoted for 7 years, and I've always loved music and loved radio. So like I try to bring like that street team mentality to promoting shows.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure like you're bringing that radio mentality to hosting shows, right?
Well, I didn't get to jump as far into radio as I wanted to. So like, I don't know. I was like a step above intern.
Okay.
When I was in there, like I wasn't like some big name disc jockey. I was handing out prize CDs, and I was doing like the tent promotion things when we're outside.
That's the fun stuff though.
It is the fun stuff, but it doesn't get your name on a billboard, and it also doesn't make anybody know who the hell you are, but it's still fun. And like you working in a record store, you get to see the promotion end, but I think that things have changed so much because this was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So now we have, social media, and the word of mouth has just blown up. Like Twitter made the world like this big around. And I hope I didn't do like a Proud Boy symbol there. It made that big around. We'll just do a rectum.
Same thing.
Well, I don't want to be throwing up like white boy gang signs.
Yeah.
But
right, because we grew up in Bakersfield. We know all about that shit.
Oh wait, what is it? The ODP? The Old Del Becker Woods?
Yeah. We know all about that stuff. And I love Bakersfield. Like I won't diss on Bakersfield, but
I will.
I'm so glad I don't live there anymore, but I don't mind going back and visiting, but Crystal Palace still has a great brunch,
the best prime rib ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Oh God. Now, you know what? I would go back to Bakersfield right now just for some Crystal Palace prime rib, their homemade horseradish sauce, and then run over to Dewar's, grab myself a pound box of chews, mixed, but mostly pistachio, and then head on over to Smith's, grab some shortbread cookies, and hopefully TSA won't fucking crunch them. I remember you fuckers. I'm coming after you. And that would be enough to visit. And
you know what? When
never
I go
even
home,
mind my family's there.
When I go home for Christmas, I come back with a box of Dwarfs. Definitely come back with a box of Dwarfs. If my sisters come up to visit, they'll sometimes bring me some Smith's cookies. What else do I definitely get a Rusty's pizza anytime.
Yes. Oh God, I miss Rusty's Pizza. They had the best crust. It was crispy on the bottom and still cushy and doughy on the top. And how do you do that?
And every time I order a pizza anywhere, I ask them for like a crispy crust, right? Like I'm like, can you run it a second time? Because that's what they did. Is like I worked at Rusty's like for like a year and a half, and like you run the pizza through one time and then you put it back in the oven, but you put it back in the oven halfway.
Yeah.
And then that's how they get that little that where that it crunches when you bite it. And I never get that crunch anywhere except Bakersfield. Rusty's.
They love their pizza, and it always tasted best after like a soccer game with your team. I didn't play soccer, but I imagine that's probably what it.
Yeah, neither did I, but that made total sense. I was out when you said that, I imagined driving from the soccer fields out at Hart Park.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Back into town and getting a Rusty's pizza. Yeah, definitely.
Dan, we could just have a whole podcast of like, hey, you know what cool stuff there is in Bakersfield? The food. The food. The Mexican food. Let's just go to Wool Growers or something.
Right now, a buddy of mine, his name is Alex Mendoza. He's setting up like a barbecue spot, like in East Bakersfield on Brundage across from the Wiener Schnitzel on Niles.
Uh-huh.
And he's got the best barbecue, but it's heart attack, man. Like when I went home last time, I had it once, and like he sent me so much food, it lingered for like 3 days, but man, I felt myself getting so lethargic after eating that stuff.
You get the meat sweats.
Yeah, definitely the meat sweats. Yeah. What made you get into comedy? Not in your early 20s, like everyone else. Because I'm a late bloomer also. I didn't start comedy. I was 46, 47 when I did my first set.
Yeah,
I'd been doing improv since my early 40s, but like I said, I wasn't great at improv. What made you be a late bloomer in comedy?
Well, I've always followed comedy. I've always been a fan of comedy. So I actually just realized, and I said this out loud to a friend and almost cried because it was one of those like mental breakthrough revelations.
Yeah, love
Comedy
those.
has been the only consistency my entire life. Like moving around as a kid or broken home or, whatever. There was always comedy. I always had comedy CDs or Comedy Central Presents or could go to a comedy club with my friends. And so there was that. It's always been part of my life. However, I got into it professionally when my husband got me, he bought me an admission to a comedy college. And
Oh,
it was like, here you go. And I had expressed interest. Like I was planning to buy myself the admission anyway. And he did it as an anniversary gift. And so my dog is throwing a fit. Um, so, 2 years ago, that was our anniversary present. And I went to the classes and it basically taught you like basic things, how to hold a microphone, how to move the mic stand
put the mic behind you. Yeah.
Yes. And it was just all these like little things that you wouldn't really know. And it taught you how to write a set and how to structure a joke. And then at the end of all of it, we did a huge show at a big comedy club that's now closed. So I have pictures of myself on this stage forever. And I get to be like, part of the memory of the Parlor Live. And dog, really? Anyway, so yeah, so it was just like the ticket to the comedy college basically bought us onto stage.
Uh-huh.
And I went to an open mic the night before the big show just to practice. And that's where I met my mentor. And she told me, like, when I got there, I'm like, hey, it's my first time. I'm doing this comedy show graduation tomorrow. Do you mind if I do like a full 5 minutes? Because I already knew that it was 4-minute sets.
Yeah.
And here I am, my very first time asking for an extra minute, my very first time on stage. Like, now I know that you basically just freaking curry yourself right in front of But so I did that, and she told me right before I started, she's like, just a warning, there is heroin in the mic. Your addiction starts tonight. And she was fucking right, because I've never felt endorphins like that. Telling a joke that you wrote yourself out of your experiences and then someone laughs at it, there's just like I have goosebumps right now talking about it. That's how passionate this has made me. And it opened up a whole new thing. Like you start going to an open mic and then feeling that rush, and then it's like, oh shit, I just got my first paid gig. Oh shit, my face is on a poster. Oh my God, somebody recognized me outside of a comedy club, and things start happening. And then before you know it, you're like, I have to have more. I have to have more. And now it's not even about being famous. I just want when people hear my name to go, oh my God, I love her jokes. She's great. And so now if I hit that goal, I have made it. And it all started with a comedy college ticket.
Yeah, man. You know what? I could tell the exact same story that you just told. I felt every single one of those things. From I took I think a 5-week comedy stand-up class, right? A 5-week class. I went to our graduation show was just like yours, but our graduation show is so the way they do their graduation show, it's at a Sunday night open mic that always fills up. There's always like 20, 25, 30 comics, but they'll slip in the graduating comics in between all of those comics. So the audience really doesn't know who's the graduating class, but like the family members and friends know, oh, that's,
yeah.
But to the other comics, it's just like, whoa, why are there people here tonight?
Yeah.
And I went a week before to try my set out because I didn't want my graduation night to be the first night that I did material in front of a real audience. I went the week before, and I like how you said. I remember the first time I got paid, right?
Yep.
How about the first time? I don't know if this happened to you. How about the first time you got paid in weed? And I was like, holy shit.
Yep, that's happened. That has happened. And I just looked at the producer and I went, you just saved me a trip, man, because this was going there. So
Yeah. And the first time my picture was on a poster, and the first time, yeah, all of
yeah,
that. Yeah. I'm I guess I'm in this heroin addiction with you. And
good.
it's you know, I've had like a checkered past, and I've fought addiction, and this is the best and safest thing for me to be addicted to right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
now, like I don't drink, I don't smoke. I've been taking a break from weed, just to clear my head. The only thing is like coffee and water. That's it. Like,
Nice.
but I figured I'm never gonna quit coffee, so I figured I'm gonna quit other stuff before my doctor ever tries to get me to quit coffee. So
Yeah, you got to have at least one vice. For
yeah,
me, it's coffee and comedy. Well,
yeah,
and weed, but I don't consider that a vice. That's a medication.
it really is. It really is. But I too have had the um, I I've had my oh shoot, I had too many edible moments before being on stage, so I already knew not to mess with edibles and try to go on stage. But
Mm-hmm.
I was still drinking a little bit when I started comedy, and I had like I remember a couple of nights where I was just like, I was too buzzed to be on stage, like that sucked.
Yeah.
And then or I was too high to be on stage, that sucked. So I quickly stopped doing all that, and now like the stage is like completely sober. Although I would definitely, I've only stopped smoking weed about a month ago, but so when I was still doing comedy, I definitely had weed for right after the set
Mm-hmm.
to come down, because like you said, you just get so pumped up on stage.
Yeah. My husband used to love it. Like, okay, a little TMI here, but when I would
That's
go
fine.
to an open mic or a show or something and have like a really great set or just the energy was awesome, like you come home on all those endorphins and sometimes it transfers to your sex life. So he'd be like, yes, she's going out and having a good show tonight. And he would be like my hype man before the show, like, all right, honey, you're going to be funny. Go out, have a great show. Yeah, do the thing. And then he'd be texting me, how was it? How's everything? And I'm just like, yep, you're getting blown into next week when I get home because the
And
show
he's
was
just
that
like,
awesome.
yes.
Yeah, and he'd be like, yes. And now it's like it's all Zoom shows, and he'll be like listening outside the door as I'm in the bedroom like doing a show, and he's like, how good is it? How good is it? Am I getting lucky? And I'll be like, we got Zoom bombed.
Joe, has that happened?
Oh my god, it
Because
happened epically last night.
I think when I joined I don't know if it was yours, but I joined somebody's Zoom recently, and I was like, dude, this Zoom doesn't have a passcode. Like I was like,
Yeah, so last night was the first time I got Zoom bombed.
uh-huh.
And
Tell
it
me about it.
happened from like 20 people at once.
Oh, it was
Oh my god.
organized.
Someone hijacked my screen share. They oh god, I had someone posting Pornhub links. One kid was like some 12-year-old wannabe Slim Shady. It was awesome. He got really pissed when I called him 5 cent. And yeah, it was awesome. But I was able to kick them all out and then, squashed it. Took about 5 minutes.
Oh wow.
But it can kill your energy. Like you sit there and you're like, yeah, we're gonna have a great show, and then someone's in there like, and I'm like, I know I'm good, but I'm not that good, honey. You don't have to fake. Just get the fuck out, all right?
Or finish. Hurry up and finish. Get out.
Right? It's like claiming my time, claiming my time.
Man,
But
what
yeah.
what how is you're further up north than me. You're in Washington?
Yeah, I'm in the Seattle area.
Okay, so what's the atmosphere like there now? Is it like are restrictions loosening up? Is
No,
it no? It's still locked down.
we are still. Well, I'm totally locked down. I haven't left my house since March, with the
Uh huh.
exception of like curbside pickup and a walk once in a while.
Yeah.
But live comedy is dead. We're not allowed to have any performances where the person performing is standing. So if there's a mic in your hand,
Wow.
you cannot be standing. And from what I hear, they've been able to like find a loophole where they actually like set up a table and a mic and kind of like this and just put someone on stage and they're like, all right, wear a mask and talk into the mic. But if you stand up, we have to shut it down.
Mm.
And so now it's sit down comedy in Seattle, but it hasn't, no one's leaving. So ticket sales aren't going to be happening. And like, I don't know, it's going to need a really strong defibrillator to get it back to living.
Yeah.
But
Seattle is a comedy town too. Like it's legendary.
the scene was booming right
Uh-huh.
before, like literally right before 3 weeks before lockdown. I had 5 shows in 1 week. Like
Wow.
it was insane. It was probably my busiest week yet. And I was like, yeah, February's awesome. March is going to be even better. And then I'm taking a break through April. And the world was like, we have plans for you. Get some comfy PJs.
Yeah.
And budget yourself $16 a month for your Zoom because that's life now.
I put on jeans last night for the first time since March.
Jeans every day. These ones are stretchy. But
Okay. I was gonna put some on a couple of weeks ago, but I couldn't find my belt. And so in the interim, I bought a belt, and last night I met up with a friend for a socially distanced dinner, and I was like, I'm gonna put jeans on. So I put some jeans on for the first time since March.
Good job.
Yeah, and man, it was warm. It was super warm out. But yeah, I've just been wearing basketball shorts, and I'm in California, so we haven't even hit sweats weather yet. It's still basketball shorts and flip flops weather. But I'm one of those guys that like I don't like bare feet, so like I'm the flip flops with socks guy.
Why are you not living in Washington?
But the slip on, the like the Adidas slip-in shoes or whatever.
The slides.
Yeah, the slides. That's what it's called. Yeah, I'm a slides with white socks guy. Yeah, that's me.
See, up here we have the leather 3 Velcro strap kind of lock your foot in sandal with socks guy.
Okay.
We call that PNW socks and sandals guy.
Oh man,
my husband is that guy.
I was lucky enough to visit Seattle. I think twice, and I loved it both times. I got addicted to Easy Street Records. I love that store. They have.
Oh my God, I forgot about that place.
Yeah, they have like a coffee shop. They have like a coffee shop, so you can have coffee and breakfast, and then just turn around and walk right into you're in a record store, and it's amazing. I read a story recently that the Beastie Boys kicked off their Hello Nasty tour in Seattle, but their records didn't arrive on time, so Easy Street opened up the store for them at midnight the night before the show, and the DJ and the 3 Beastie Boys went in and spent thousands of dollars on records to use the following day for the show.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure that I think it was posted on Easy Street's Facebook page maybe about a month ago. And so yeah, I love that store. No, I don't have an Easy Street coffee cup. I think I do, but I have so many coffee cups, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. My son gives me a dirty look every time I buy a new coffee mug because he's the one that has to like unload the dishwasher and find the places to put all this shit. And I'll be like, check out my new coffee mug. And he just goes, so which one are we getting rid of to make room for it?
You know what? I somehow lose if I do the math, I shouldn't have room for all my coffee cups, but I still somehow manage to have room for all my coffee cups. So I lose a coffee cup here and there every couple of months, and I don't know.
How?
I think the cleaning lady breaks them. What I'm pretty sure, because the first time she broke a coffee cup, she confessed. Like she sent me a text message and was like, "I'm so sorry, I broke this coffee cup. You could take it out of whatever you're gonna pay me." And I think I was like too laxed about it. I was like, "Don't worry about it. It's replaceable. I'm not gonna take it out of." So now I think she's just like, "Oh, broke another one." I think she doesn't want to put them away and breaks one every few weeks.
She's just keeping you in check.
Yeah, definitely, still keeping me in check. Do you think you'll keep these Zoom shows going once we're back to normal in a year or so? I think like April, May will be kind of normal-ish. I think we're definitely going to be still chilling like this for at least through the holidays. Just to be safe. Because like,
I don't want to get too optimistic though, because like I was supposed to be having my postponed wedding reception next week, and that's canceled. So like, and we planned that last year. So I don't want to be too optimistic, but as long as there's an interest for the Zoom comedy, the Zoom comedy, listen to me. As long as there's an interest for it, I'll keep doing it. And then once the world opens back up, I want to turn this into a live show.
Oh, definitely. Oh, the whole roulette.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think this would just be, oh my God, even as like an audience participation thing, like, you get your ass up here. You get to talk 3 minutes about felching. And that is a word on the wheel, so bless whoever gets that.
A long time ago, Bakersfield had a DJ named Lotus Felcher.
Yes, I remember that.
Do you remember him? He played great music. He had like Sunday nights on Crab Radio. He was the first DJ I heard play Alanis Morissette, and he pronounced her last name wrong. He's like, I think it's Morissetti, but here it is, and played You Ought to Know. Yeah,
I remember that. My first, I used to call up and talk to the real Bruce Wayne.
Oh, the Dark Knight, the real Bruce Wayne.
He was actually the one that told me where I needed to go to school and what I needed to do to get into radio.
Yeah, I heard he was a really nice, supportive guy. Like, he always was.
Yeah, I was like 12 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, I was 12. I was 12 and calling him and like, this is what I want to do. What do I need to do? And like, I would call like I was making a request or a dedication during his like, 9 to midnight section. And I would put in my request, and it was usually something stupid like, I want to hear something by Green Day or whatever. And I don't even remember what I was listening to back then. And I would then be like, okay, now I have a question. I want to do what you do. Where did you go to school? What do I have to do? What plans do I need to make? I'm 12 years old. I've got to start doing this.
Wow.
And he's like, do you do public speaking? And I'm like, well, yeah, I've been doing the Oral Language Festival for, God, since 4th grade. What else? And he's like, keep doing that. When you when you go to college, go to a voice academy and learn how to use your voice, and then everything will happen after that. And son of a bitch was right.
Wow.
We took a detour, but yeah, the son of a bitch was right.
Do you remember when Pirate Radio hit Bakersfield with Rocky? Who was it? Rocky
Nash.
Rocky Nash, and who was her partner?
Meatloaf.
No, like Desi and Rocky Nash, or I can't remember.
There was Desi and Rocky Nash. Yeah, that was when Pirate Radio first started.
That's when Pirate Radio started, and they really woke up Bakersfield Radio. Like they took Bakersfield Radio and really shook it up, and it was good. Like I remember like hearing Mr. Brownstone on the radio, and like people played Guns N' Roses, but no one ever played Brownstone.
Yeah.
They were really good to me. That was during a time when I had a music blog in Bakersfield, like in 2004, like 2000. Yeah, it was like 2004, 2005. Like I would go out and watch the local bands. Like I would watch like, oh gosh, like 3 Cent Nickel, Tempered.
Oh my God.
Gramercy Riff, Stereo Tactic.
I know guys in 3 Cent Nickel.
Yeah, those guys are great. Heath Webb, Rob Shock.
I used to watch them at Vinny's.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Vinny's was great. Oh, wow. I loved going to Vinny's.
Vinny's and Jerry's Pizza was the best place to catch new music.
Yeah, Jerry's Pizza was great. Jerry's Pizza had the coldest Newcastle. Like, it was so good. But they gave it to you in a plastic cup.
Mm-hmm.
But the Newcastle was so good. Oh man, I saw so many great shows at Vinny's. Vinny's
Yeah.
and Jerry's. Jerry's is legendary.
It
Like
is.
bands from all over the country know Jerry's Pizza. I mean, Weezer did like that surprise show there one year
Uh-huh.
when
Yep.
they were getting ready to tour for the Blue album, I think.
I was too young to be present at that, but
Oh wow.
well, I mean,
That's but
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm-
so you remember 3 Cent Nickel and all those guys.
yep, that was, oh my God. 3 Cent Nickel's crazy because I was dating a guy that was the brother of, oh God, was he the bass player or I don't know, one of the guys in 3 Cent Nickel, I was dating his brother
Uh-huh.
during the time that they were like constantly playing. So yeah, you said that and it just sparked some.
Do you remember the Filthies?
I do.
I loved the Filthies. I
Yeah.
loved the Filthies. They were probably the Filthies did the greatest cover of the Dramarama song Anything.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, they were great. You know, they're going to be on my podcast next week. There's a they're a record label / vintage store called Revolution Vintage,
Uh-huh.
and they're producing records. They're putting stuff out on vinyl, and they're actually doing a series of Bakersfield bands, putting them on vinyl. And I don't have it yet, but I pre-ordered. I don't know if you remember Mission Tonight. It was a local band, Mission Tonight. So they're doing Mission Tonight, Red Adair, and somebody else, but they're putting the stuff out on clear vinyl. It's beautiful. Really reasonably priced, and they're going to be on the podcast next week. And I'm hoping that they do more of these Bakersfield bands, classic Bakersfield bands on vinyl, because Bakersfield has a great music scene.
They do. Yeah. It's one of the good things about them, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the Bakersfield music scene, man. That's great. So the Zoom shows are going to continue as long as you see an interest in them. And I really think that, yeah, the Russian Roulette would do great, I think, at a club, small club, big club, whatever. But it definitely would be, because it gets you out of your comfort zone. Do you have like times that you run the show? Like, do they have a set time? Do you want to pitch the times and the mics and stuff that you're doing?
Sure. So the schedule as it is right now is everything Pacific time. I'm just going to lay that out now. Tuesdays at 2 p.m. is Make the Love Seat Laugh. That's a no light open mic for long sets. On Thursdays at noon, I have Couch Potatoes, which is also a long set, no light open mic. So those are great. Like if you have a show coming up and you need to polish your long 15 or something.
Yep.
Not for taking 10 minutes to practice 3 jokes. And then Russian Roulette has been moved to weekends. So now that's Saturday night at 9 p.m. and Sunday afternoons at 3. But a little birdie done told me the other day that now we're thinking about making Rush a 6 days a week thing.
Oh, wow.
But that has not been made official yet. So, I mean, you can quote me as it being not official yet, but right now that's in the works, because I really think that if we ran like an hour a day where people could just run in, riff, have a good time, and then go out, it might work. And my days freed up. So.
I'm actually thinking about like trying to find like a lunchtime open mic that I can do, because I get an hour for lunch every day, and I try to get out of the house, like that's when I do my Trader Joe run.
Yeah.
And I'll go to Trader Joe's, because I feel really safe there. They're cleaning the carts. They wipe the carts down before they hand them to you. Mm-hmm. You can't go in without a mask, and everything is nice and clean. But I don't need to go to Trader Joe's every day. But I think I'm gonna get to the point where I'm looking for something around the 1 o'clock hour that I could jump into. And but I'm definitely down for the the Russian roulette on Sundays at 3:00. That
Uh-huh.
hour is perfect for me, man. It worked out so great last week. It was over by like 5.
Mm-hmm.
Was it over? Did you try to run it for 2 hours or an hour and a half?
My goal is an hour and a half. I
Okay.
love to keep a mic nice and tight at 90 minutes. If we go to 2 hours and everyone's having fun, that's great. After 2 hours, it's like I'm looking at my watch going, God damn. Does anyone else want to host? Because I gotta pee.
That's one thing that I worry about too. So I'm working really hard to lose weight, and one of the things about my routine is that I drink a gallon of water every day. So by like 4 or 5 o'clock, I'm
Mhm.
getting up to go to the bathroom like every 20 minutes.
Oh
So
yeah.
I've done a couple of Zoom shows where like they're like at 6, 7 o'clock, and I really got to watch my water intake because I'll be like getting up and going pee like every 20 minutes on those
Yep.
nights. But it just helps me be more conscientious of what I'm putting into my body because I got to make sure and let it out.
Absolutely.
Man, that's great. Tara, I enjoyed. Thank you for filling in last minute. I messaged you last night, like at I don't know. It was late already. I mean, it wasn't early, and
Oh, it's the afternoon. It's cool.
yeah. But thanks for filling in last minute, man. Things happen, but I knew like I just started thinking of Zoom mic hosts because like I've invited a couple of people on the podcast, and they're like, okay, how do I get Zoom? And I'm like, okay, never mind. Let's move on, but now I know to like go after the Zoom mic host because you guys know exactly what you're doing. Look at you with your professional, look at your microphone setup. That's sweet. I haven't gone that far yet because I go between the kitchen and the living room. So I've got like a laptop set up in my kitchen and I've got a laptop set up in my living room. I have the Yeti here for
Nice.
podcasting, and for the Zoom mic, I think last week I used the Samsung, and I can't remember if I held it or not. I feel more in a riff mode if I'm holding the microphone.
I was like, there we go. So I have your standard, comedians Shure SM58, which I was holding,
Uh-huh.
but it becomes, so much more profesh when it looks like this.
It does. Yeah, I have a Shure and I have a Samsung. Samsung? Yeah. Samsung. I think I have 4 because before all this I was recording the podcast in my living room.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun, man. Like I would record on Saturday morning still, but it would be about 11 o'clock. I'd have people over in my living room. The setup was there. We'd have coffee. We'd have a little weed afterwards because weed before just made for a horrible podcast.
Yeah.
They'd just be like, what do you want to eat after this, man? I don't know. Can we just
Taco
order it
time.
now? Yeah.
Yeah. You got
Tara,
it.
thank you for oh, no, what were you saying? I don't want to cut you off.
I was just going to say, next thing you got to do is you get yourself a desk with wheels, and then you have a mobile production studio.
Man, these are goals I have now. Tara, thank you for filling in. I will splice in your social medias. Are you on Twitter?
I think I am.
Okay, I'm
I
gonna
never
take that.
use it.
Yeah, that's a no. I found you on Instagram, but your Instagram says I never use this.
Yeah, Seattle comedian that never uses her Instagram. At least I'm honest. Okay?
Yeah, but your most recent picture you posted, I think it was like September 16th or something like that, or was that 2019?
No, that was a couple weeks ago, and that was because someone pointed out that I haven't been very active on Instagram. So I was like, fine, here's a picture. All right, now go find me on Facebook.
I love Instagram more than Facebook. Facebook, I have muted almost everybody
Mm-hmm.
or snoozed. I've snoozed almost everybody on Facebook. Instagram, they still can't get too political. Facebook, that people, I don't know. Not that I'm not aware of the politics, but like, I just get angry, and then it takes me out of my zone. And, I'm definitely going to vote. So that's where I try to keep it at,
Just use your anger for good, man.
Yeah.
Use your anger, build a platform, and then shout loud from it.
I hear you, and I respect that, man. Tara, thank you for filling in last minute. I will see you later on this afternoon at 3:00. I hope I don't get Kazakhstan for 1 minute.
I removed that word.
Okay, great. But whatever I get, I hope I don't get 1 minute. I hope I get like 3 or 4 minutes because I love talking, as you could tell. But thanks for coming on the podcast. I appreciate you, man.
Thanks for having me. It's been a great time.
All right. I'll see you soon, Tara.
Yep. I'll see you soon. Have a great day, Jesse.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Bye.